بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب قلوب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. We welcome our brother Hajj Muhammad الانصاري and thank you so much for being here tonight, and inshallah we'll all benefit from his knowledge. ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. As we all know, on the 18th of the Hijjah, 10 years after Hijrah, the Prophet ﷺ, after completing his final Hajj, Hajjat al-Wada', he stopped in a place called Ghadir Khum, which is 200 kilometers between Mecca and Medina. And a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Prophet, peace be upon him, to announce his successor, which is Ali ibn Abi Talib. That's when he raised the hands of Amir al-Mu'mineen and he said, "Man kuntu mawlah, fahadha aliyun mawlah." We asked the question, Hajj. The historians said, if it was announced in Ghadir is important, as Shia claims, then the Prophet would have announced it in his sermon in the farewell Hajjat al-Wada', and why would he delay it?
Thank you very much. Thanks for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow me, and thank you very much to be given this honor, and actually I don't feel I'm up to it. But to answer this, I think we need to understand something. When we deal with any historical event, we need to have a holistic understanding of what's going on. If we just limit it to the idea, we don't understand it very well. We don't understand why the Prophet ﷺ took that position, and why those who declared Islam for the worldly benefit took that position. So we need to go back, and just to remind you that the Prophet ﷺ was in Medina for 10.5 years, right? So in year 8, that's when Ghazwat came. When the army went out, that's the beginning of the alarm for those who have worldly benefit from Islam. And that's when the Prophet put Imam Ali in Medina, and he told him, "Innaka minni bi manzilati Harun min Musa." So you are for me like Harun. You know Harun and Musa? Harun was the vice president, they say. So that was a big alarm for them. So they went to Tabuk. In the way back, the first action from the other party, there was the first conspiracy of Akbar. They wanted to assassinate the Prophet. Why? They know that the Prophet doesn't go. I mean, this is now there, they cannot remove it, but they need to get the worldly benefit from it. So they remove the Prophet. They can't do that. They failed. The names are well known. They were famous people. The Prophet decided not to tell us. Then when he went back, he tried to announce the 12th Khalifa after him. So he went up, Al-Khulafa, Ba'id, and the narration, and I'm talking about the Sunni narration, not the Shia narration. The Sunni narration saying that there was commotion, there was hoo-ha to prevent him. People start to stand and sit and say takbir. And the narrator said, "I couldn't hear the names. I asked my father, and my father told me all of them from Quraysh." So here they gave their way of preventing the Prophet from announcing. After that, the order came that the Hajj of the 9th year, they need to announce that Kuffar should not go to Mecca again. You know, Surah At-Tawbah, Surah Bara'ah. It was given to Abu Bakr, the first Khalif, to take this to Mecca. Interestingly, the revelation came and told the Prophet, it's either you or somebody from you to do this. So he sent Imam Ali to take it from Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was frightened. Is there a wahi came on me and what? And he went back, he said, "No, it's either me or one from me." And he went, and this was a big alarm to the other party. We know what's happening. We know what's going to happen. And then the Hajj came. So the Prophet in Hajjatul Wada, and that's the claim, that's why he didn't. He actually tried. He stood up and he said, "Inni tarikum fik," and the same action, the commotion that they did, and the same takbir and standing and sitting, and he knew that they will not allow him and people will not hear it. So how is he going to deal with this? Now this is Mecca, and we said from Mecca to Medina 400, and in between is Ghadir, which is Rabigh at this stage in Hijaz. So the order came, now we have to say, because otherwise the people will disperse. And here is it's not only that. The important thing here is the surprise. So those who tried to prevent the Prophet to announce, and then they expected him to announce in Medina, they did not expect Ghadir, Khum. So here came in the surprise. Suddenly, he has to stand up in the middle, they collect everything, and he has to announce it. So it was a big surprise. So it was a holy, divine surprise to those who wanted to stop it.
أحسنتم حاج. History tells us that Imam Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam was in Yemen before the last Hajj. What was the role of Imam Ali alayhi salam in Yemen before the event, and how does that affect the interpretation of al-Ghadir?
It's a very important question, actually. It's from many aspects. One aspect is Imam Ali alayhi salam went to Yemen twice, one in year 8 and in year 10. The importance of this is who he went to. So Prophet ﷺ sent the army by the leadership of Khalid ibn Walid to try to conquer that place, and the place is for Hamadan. And Hamadan is the most literate, civilized people in Yemen and in Arabia. So he couldn't, for 6 months he couldn't. And then Imam Ali went, and within a week of discussion, the whole Hamadan followed. I want you to remember Hamadan, and then in year 10, the same thing happened to the second most illiterate tribe in Yemen. This is Madhaj. These two are going to be, well, they are going to be the most loyal Shia in Kufa. The whole tribe will move to Kufa by the order of Imam Ali. Remember that. So this is the movement right from beginning. Now, also is to compare that the leader, Saifullah, as they call it, is really, or has no power. For 6 months he tried to do something, but he couldn't. Now, after that, when the Prophet ﷺ announced to people that I'm going to do the Hajj in year 10, the narration said 90,000 people collected, and Imam Ali wanted to come from Yemen, so he left somebody. Now, remember, they know, like if the Prophet ﷺ, he elected a person, and he want to announce, the other party want to prevent this. What do? First, they need to spoil or actually defame the elected, and second, to prevent the announcement. So that's what happened. They sent all their followers with the army of Imam Ali to Yemen to make it really difficult, and they did make it difficult. And then they start sending letters to the Prophet how bad Imam Ali is, and all the reputation, all the rumors that they want to send about Imam Ali with ladies and all these things. And actually the Prophet stopped them, but they tried to defame him. Then they tried to prevent this happening. So what happened? Imam Ali came, and that's the most important thing here. Imam Ali came in Hajj. Probably those who went to Hajj, they know this. For us Shia, when we do Hajj Tamattu. Hajj Tamattu is first you go for Umrah, then you remove your Ihram, and then you do Ihram again and Hajj. This is for all people who are not living in Mecca. Now, why this is important? I want you to remember, because Imam Ali will use it to the max. So what happened? The Prophet brought his hadi, that's the sheep and the cattle with him to slaughter. In there, the revelation came, those who brought the slaughter with them, they have no right to open their ihram. So they do Hajj Qiran, not Hajj Tamattu. So it's only the Prophet and Imam Ali alayhi salam, who had the hadi with him, cannot do that. The Sahaba, the others, they said, oh, this is again raising Imam Ali up. We are not going to break our ihram. Ya Allah, I am the Prophet. Do you have any connection with Allah apart from me? Why are you disbelieving in what I'm saying? If I know before this revelation, I wouldn't bring a cattle with me, and I would have done it with you. And what does that tell us? There is a problem with them following the Prophet. Right from beginning, he knew that this is happening. And that's the beauty. So Hajj Tamattu is one of the things that Umar was punishing on it. is not allowing it because it has high reputation to the only two who were allowed not to do it.
Ahsant Hajj. So they'll do anything in their power to stop the raising of Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. Hajj, what is the Quranic background for Ghadir? And what is the claim that us Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the school of Ahlul Bayt, actually think of Eid al-Ghadir, and when it comes to the Quranic background to Eid al-Ghadir?
Beautiful question, because in reality, Quran is full, especially Surah Al-Ma'idah. Surah Al-Ma'idah, you can call it Surah Al-Ghadir. It's beauty. But we need to remember if you just take it ayah by ayah, you won't understand it. You need to follow what Ahlul Bayt told us about it. And let's start with the first ayah. Ya أيها الذين آمنوا أوفوا بالعقود. O people of faith, fulfill the promises or fulfill your contracts or your pledges. This is any pledge, any contract with Allah. It starts with a simple contract of selling and buying, marriage contract, more than that a political authority, and more than that a divine authority. This is a contract. أوفوا بالعقود. It's amazing. Directly after that, وحلت لكم بهيمة الأنعام. He changed the subject to tell us that we need to follow those who know the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt. If you just go by yourself, you won't. Interestingly, whatever happened, whatever mentioned in the Quran about Bani Israel, it's in reality to tell us about something. A lot of talk about Bani Israel, not because they are bad or they are good. Actually, from Ibrahim alayhi salam, there are two sides. One is from Bani Israel, that's from Ishaq and Yaqub. And the other one is from Ismail. So they were the starter. Whatever happened, and that's from the Prophet ﷺ, you will follow what Bani Israel did step by step. Whatever they did, you will do. Now, what is Bani Israel? Bani Israel is the tribe of Israel, of Yaqub. Who is the tribe of Muhammad? Quraysh. So in reality, whatever happened to Bani Israel is telling us what will happen to the Prophet. Whatever Bani Israel did is telling us what Bani Israel of Muhammad's time will do with Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. So the whole Quran telling you the story. And that's when we come to the ayah 12, where it tells us وَإِذْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ وَإِذْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ وَبَعَثْنَا فِيهِمْ 12 نَقِيبًا. So Allah has taken the pledge and sent 12 Naqib leaders. Most of the translations saying that these are the sons of Israel. But in reality, we know that they are bad. They were bad with Yusuf alayhi salam. So if you go to the Torah, you know these are the prophets, one after the successors from the progeny of Harun. And who's Harun? Ali alayhi salam. So it's beautiful. It's all there. So he's telling them, I've sent this. If you follow it, fine. If you don't, وَمَنْ كَفَرْ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. And then Allah tell us in ayah 13, فَبِمَا نَقْضِهِمْ مِيثَاقَهُمْ. When they did not follow the pledge they gave, Allah made their hard-hearted. So you can see, that's what happened with Quraysh, because they did not follow. Now that directly takes us now to ayah 67, when Allah told us then, or the order came, يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته. No, the order came. You have to say it. Now when the Prophet went up and said, what did he say? ألست أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم. Do I have more authority on the mu'mineen, on the faithful, more than themselves on themselves? They said yes. Now did he just make this up? No. The Quran told us النبي أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم in Surah Al-Ahzab ayah 6. And the other group, they say, oh, but if you continue say when nisa'uhum ummahatum. No. The Prophet really used this. Awla. What is awla? Awla means he has more claim on us than him. So if you have to believe in this to follow the Prophet, if you don't, You are not really following the Prophet. You have a problem with the wilayah, right? So, and then when he told them that, then Ali has this wilayah on us. The Prophet then will take a Quran and إنما وليكم هو Allah ورسوله والذين آمنوا. But who are they? He defined them. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. It's only one who did that. So if you really want the wali, it's only one wali. Now people may ask, but wilayah can be anything. And actually in Arabic there are about 30 understanding, 30 explanation of wilayah. But you need to put it in context. And here the Prophet used, I am the wali, then Ali is the wali. So what is the wilayah of the Prophet? It's not just advisor or protector. No, it's different. After that, then the tabligh came and the Ghadir happened. The Quran takes us further in Surah Al-Ma'idah and tells us now, where is it? اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم. This is ayah 3. يئس, now the unbeliever lost hope in destroying. Why? Because wilayah came in. Allah has put the continuous protection. So those unbelievers, they lost hope. اليوم يئس الذين كفروا من دينكم فلا تخشوهم. Don't fear them. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم. I completed your religion. And I give and أتممت عليكم نعمتي. And I bestow all my ni'mah, my gifts on you. ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. And I accepted Islam from you. Which Islam? It is Islam علي. صلوا على محمد.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Knowing in Ghadir most congratulated Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh after the Rasul announced Amir al-Mu'mineen as his successor. How did the Muslims deal with the Ghadir events?
Yes, and very interesting actually. I mean, if you go to the Al-Allama al-Amini in his beautiful book Al-Ghadir, he tells us in the lowest number it was 100,000 and the highest 124,000 people were there. And all of them, took them by surprise and they accepted. And actually it was not only one day, Eid al-Ghadir is 3 days. So 3 days, the tents were there, they come, and just imagine the beauty. They come from one door, they go from the other door. It was a coronation because because the Prophet ﷺ put his imamah, his taj, his crown on Imam Ali's head, and they go in, and for the girls they put there is a sort of bucket, they put their hands in the water and Imam Ali in the water. It's beautiful. Just imagine you put your hand on the Imam hand, right? But the sad thing is, it's narrated only by 110 Sahabi and only by 85 Tabi. Tabi is the second generation. So that would give you how much atrocity and how much oppression happened after that. Now, between Ghadir and the departure and the martyrdom of the Prophet, how many days? So the Prophet died in 28th of Safar. Ghadir is in the 18th, so it's Dhul Hijjah, then Muharram and Safar. It's only 70 days. 70 days and there's a coup. Don't call it Saqifa, it's a coup. And actually I don't want to go through this, but just I give you numbers to understand. Interestingly, the Prophet ﷺ asked Hudayfa to do a census to Medina to see how many people there, and it's only 1,200 Ansar of the people who can fight. Now, how many Bedouin came? Umar brought Aslam 3,000 fighter, and Khalid brought 1,000 fighters. So you have 4,000 against 1,200, not ready to fight. They didn't know there is a fight. It was a bloody red coup, not a white discussion. Now, and after that there was a complete suppression, and we know that from the hadith of Ibn Abbas and Umar when he told him, So Umar was appraising Bani Hashim, and Ibn Abbas told him, so why did you not give them the Khilafah? He said, Karihat Quraysh. Quraysh hated that you take the prophethood and successorship. And they thought, and they chose, and they were guided, and they made the right choice.
A very important question. How does Ghadir link to the tragedy of Karbala, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam?
Yeah, this is a full with sadness, but also we need to learn from it. So Sheikh Jawad Moni asked by one of the Wahhabis, why are you making all this fuss about Muharram and you always, commemorate it? He said, because we don't want to make the same mistake we did with Ghadir. We did not really push Ghadir. So if we go back with Ghadir, if they respected Ghadir, Karbala wouldn't happen. So what is the? So after the coup, they were so strong, and Imam Ali didn't come up because he knew that this will destroy the Muslims. Now, if you see that all the conquerors, all the leaders is from Quraysh, why is that? And even many of them, they are really of no big Islamic background. For example, why Yazid ibn Abu Sufyan, the brother of Muawiyah, is the conqueror of Bilad al-Sham. He has nothing, actually it's 1 year of Islam. But Quraysh wanted to give their leaders names. So all the people who declared Islam, they don't know anybody. They don't know Ahlul Bayt, they don't know the Ansar. It's only Quraysh. It's to the level that even in Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali said, وَكُنَّا مِمَّنْ خَبَى ذِكْرُهُ. We were from those who nobody knows. Why? Because it's total like a blinding of people on who are they. I want you to understand two things. There is the conqueror Muslims, and there are the Muslims after the conquest. So the conqueror are the armies of Islam. They know about Ghadir, but they were suppressed. They cannot talk. There are the Muslims who came after the conquest happened. They know nothing about Ghadir. They were not there. They didn't see the Prophet. Nobody told them. Nobody allowed to tell them. So they don't know. In the time of Umar, nothing happened. In the time of Uthman, when there is the big corruption in the government, when Uthman gave all the money, and said, believe me, lots and lots of money, to his family, Quraysh itself started to fight. The other side of Quraysh, they start to say, why are you taking all the money? And they start to fight. And that gap was used to the max. Now, we always ask, why Imam Ali didn't do anything? It's not, that's what we don't know. We need to dig in history, and we found that from the 27th of Hijrah, and you remember, Imam Ali took the leadership in 35 of Hijrah. From 27, the movement started. And what he used first, his followers, Abu Dhar is the first one. What he used, remember, Hajj al-Tamattu. That was the important part that he used. So they used to go to Hajj and do Hajj differently. The new Muslims, after the conquest, they don't understand. What's this? We know those are Sahaba. Why are they doing differently? And Abu Dhar start talking. Well, this is the real Muhammad's way. This is the real Islam. The other one is, believe me, they said ijtihad. There is no ijtihad. When you do ijtihad, for example, our ulama, when they do ijtihad, when there is something not said, there is nothing from the Prophet about it, they do ijtihad. But the Prophet said something, and you said something against it, this is not ijtihad. This is another way. So to tell people there is another way and this is not prophetic was a bit of shock to the newcomers, and they want to know. And that's the start of the coup, Ahlul Bayt coup. So Abu Dhar punished, and it's outcasted. And then after that Ammar, and they hit him hard. And then Imam Ali, from the ahadith, Imam Ali kept on saying, this is the Umrah, this is the way we do. Until people start to understand there's a corrupted government who are not really connected to the Prophet, and the revolution happened. After that, you know what happened to Imam Ali. I mean, by the way, 18th of the Hijjah is the time when the people killed Uthman and the announcement of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Sallu ala Muhammad. So Allah has given him back his right in the same days. And after that, and the importance of what Imam Hassan, we all think that Imam Hassan was really treated unjustly because Muawiyah directly said, no, it's not real. Imam Hassan's treaty was amazing because for 10 years that allowed him to tell Ahlul Sham who is Ali. They start to know. People of Egypt, they start to know. And that's why he has to kill him. After 10 years, he has to kill him. And what he did, so this is the coup of Muawiyah. So what he did, whoever mentioned anything about Abu Turab, that's Imam Ali, he will cut his, he will stop his salary. If that's not enough, he will demolish his house. If that's not enough, he will blind him with a hot metal. And even if that's not enough, they will kill him. So here the order came from Imam Hussein, everybody stay quiet until 2 years before Karbala, where he asked all the Sahaba, 200 Sahabi and 500 of the Tabi'een, to tell them all about what will happen, I mean all about Ghadir and all the ahadith, because he knew that he will go, and they are the connection. When we say there are 110 who narrated, they are the one who Imam Hussein kept them. So that give us something, like even when we are suppressed, keep going, keep working, because Allah has promised us the victory, inshallah.
Inshallah. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل.
Why do we call Eid al-Ghadir Eid Allah al-Akbar?
Probably you answered in a nicer way with nice poetry. But as you said, I mean,
بس نعتذر من الحاج. بس يا اخوان ارجوكم شويه صوت هدوء. بارك الله بكم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. You know, as you said, the ayat from Imam Sadiq at 4. So, you know, I mean, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, they are mainly jurisprudential, right? Fiqhi ayat. It's one for the Saum, is one for the Hajj, for Jum'ah. But the Ghadir is not for fiqh. It's for a belief. It's for a protection. It's much higher level. So this is Eid Allah al-Akbar. But this is general understanding. Historically, there's a beauty in Ghadir. By the way, you know, in Ghadir we do all mu'akhat. That's because the mu'akhat, the brotherhood of Muslims, happened at that time. But you remember, who was the one who was chosen for the Prophet to be his brother? That's the start, Imam Ali, in the 18th. That's the beginning, the mu'akhat. After that, when we say it is the Eid of Wilayah, it is the Eid of Wilayah of the Prophet. Because when you go and do the pledge to Imam Ali, who are you accepting as wali? The Prophet, because you are accepting what he told you. So in reality, the Prophet is the mazloom, is the one who treated unjustly people. That's why in that Hajj, you know, again, Hajj al-Tamattu', when he said, from where else they have a connection from Allah. So if you want to follow the Prophet, accept the wilayah. And this is wilayat the Prophet. It's the wilayah of the Prophet, and then it comes to the wilayah of Imam Ali, and the beauty of the return of the right to Imam Ali again in the 18th. So that's the beauty. But we need to put all this together, so it could be Akbar, because theoretically it is, spiritually it is, emotionally it is.
Final question. In our time, what is Eid al-Ghadir for us as Shia and followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullah wa salamuhu alayh?
I think all those who are sitting here, they can tell you more than me. I mean, just imagine, inshallah, Ghadir, the actual date is coming. in that day, whenever you are more awake, whether you're morning or your lunchtime, take that moment and sit and imagine you are going to that tent. Remember, the tent has there's an entrance and exit. And you enter and you put your hand with Ali, on Ali's hand, and for the girls in the water. Imagine that Imam Ali in front of you, and he's crowned with the imamah of the Prophet, and the Prophet behind him. It's beautiful. Now when you put your hand on him, you know the hand which do the pledge, they have right, but also they have duties. And that's the beauty. So you go to Imam and you give them the pledge, but then you say, Ayyuhal Aziz. It's like when when we talk to Yusuf. Massana wa ahlan wa bar, wa ji'na bi bida'atin muzjat. Oh, honorable, we came to you, but really our commodity is really poor, but we really want to follow. So how do you follow? I mean, we are giving the pledge for the Islam, the real Islam, Islam of Ali. When you do that, what did he do? For example, I give you one thing, like for example, when Amr ibn al-As came to do the negotiation, there was a candle. And once Amr ibn al-As asked him, how is Hassan and Hussein? He put his hand and stopped the candle. He said, why did you do that? He said, because first we were talking about a state issue, so I can use the state candle. Once it's personal, I don't. We need to apply this in our life. This is, for example, is a common, the mosque is for all of us. To leave the lights open, unfortunately, when we leave things, we need to deal with it more than our house, because it's not ours. This is an example. When you give the pledge, give a personal pledge and a common pledge. What I want to change this year, to be really a follower of Ali. That's what I need to do, inshallah, in Ghadir. But apart from that, Imam Ali used not to eat because there is somebody who is hungry somewhere. We need to give. One of the things, unfortunately, we do, and that's what Muhammad also said, like, why are we not celebrating Ghadir? Alhamdulillah, this is really happy what we are doing here. Why are we not celebrating Ghadir as much as we commemorating Muharram? I'm not saying that put Muharram down, but now because Ghadir is what actually keep us going. This is the bishara of Allah. Allah told us that Al-yawma ya'isa alladhina kafaru. This is for us. And also he told us that if you follow, you will... one of the things that sometimes we get down, but Allah gave us this bishara in Surah Yusuf, in verse 110. He said, حتى إذا استيأس الرسل. And when the Rusul lost hope, وظنوا أنهم كذبوا, and the people around them, they thought there's nothing. جاءهم نصرنا. We all face this. We all face this. Sometimes we are down, we are surrounded by enemies. But remember, Allah told us, when you feel this, the Nasr will come and we will prevail. And we are prevailing. And this is beauty. We need to, probably next time we do it 3 days, because that's what the Prophet did. And inshallah we can.
Shukran jazilan, Doctor. Thank you so much for your time. And inshallah we all benefited from the knowledge that you gave us about Amir al-Mu'mineen. And this is all, inshallah, will raise a question in our hearts, so we can, inshallah, search and do the research about Ghadir and about Amir al-Mu'mineen. Salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. Shukran jazilan للحاج محمد الانصاري. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.